and get things sorted out the best way we can to ensure that what happens in our economy gets to make better meaning to us and for us, because not just to us, for us in the sense that it has to affect our pockets and our bank accounts to ensure that we are getting better. Okay, so what about here? And this day, the topic which I'll discuss with my guests, I'll let you know. Talking about the things have to do with commodities and the market, pricing, and the impact it's making on what we have as a price of commodities on a constant note. Talking about the situation report, market price of commodities. That's what we just want to look at as much as we can within this period. But then, my guest is Sam Praise Itomo, of course. He's a man that wears many caps. But this day he is coming in here as a Nigerian in the first place and someone that has a human interest, the interest of Nigerians at heart. That's here. You see, human interest advocate. Sam, good to have you again here, sir.
Good morning, Okechukwu. It's my pleasure. Wonderful audience. God bless you.
We will get straight. The topic is supposed to be seen here, and I believe that Sanusi will be able to let us see it as we go on. And that is what we have just mentioned. That is the topic of today's program. What has to do with situation report. Yes, situation report. Market price of commodities. Sir, we have seen at this stage we saw that let me pick this particular one. The price of plantain came down very well and everybody was happy. Incidentally, today it seemed to have gone back high again, and I started wondering what is happening to it that it can't even last for 1 month before it goes back up again where it used to be, and it was painful because I would say that over the weekend I checked it, and that quantity that was sold or bought for 3,000 a month ago is the one that we are seeing now for 5,000 and even 6,000, as the case may be. The same that quantity that went for 3,000 just a month ago got to 6, not 5, but 6 to 7,000 really. And I was wondering, why does it have to go in such a sharp manner? Because I know that by that point it was everywhere and people were being begged to come and purchase because it was just there. And what has happened, I don't understand. If you look again, there are some other products like Gary, the price is still just added just a little bit, it's still okay. And then talk about rice, the bag of rice still remains the way it has been for a while. Even beans still remains that way, which, as we said earlier, the price of beans is a problem for those who are just because of the way it crashed effectively. Sorry, not manufacturers, who are traders who hoard and sell later because of has to make more gain. All of them seem to be in pain about that at a time like this. What do you think is the result of all these things?
Thank you. From plantain you just mentioned, actually for some years now, plantain has become a meal for the rich, no longer for average Nigerians. Why? Because of what you and I know. For instance, a situation where, like I do say, sometimes when there is availability of a crop, and then we come here and say, thank God the government is helping. I keep saying, I say it has nothing to do with government helping. It's the availability because it is season. But did you know that of plantain, to be very precise, is that not many farmers are into plantain. You have, I think, the larger share of plantain plantation is somewhere in Ondo State. That is how you have the bulk of plantain. Presently in Nigeria, unless some very few politicians who have private farms somewhere, So the trickling into the marketplaces are like gold. Precisely, we are talking about plantain. You know, banana grows even in waterways. Erosion moves banana anywhere they stand, and the market women can stumble into it. Some villagers can stumble into them and harvest them and go and sell to market. So that's why, even though the undulation also affects banana bed, it's not as often as it has on plantain. So some people are also advised, if you have land that is fenced and secured, I will advise that we have more people going into plantain plantations because of its economic value. And you know that if you have even 10, in the space of 3 years, that your 10 will bring suckers more than 50, more than 100, especially if you have a secure place, because like what some of us have suffered is the cattle rearers don't allow our agricultural product to stay. Like that, my own, I told you, 2,000 stems of plantain I planted. I mean, as we speak, there is not one. If you come there, you will even notice that anything happened there in the first place. They waited until when the plantain grew to production stage, they started butchering it. They were butchering it. Then when we are still holding meetings with their stakeholders in that community, they still came back and finally uprooted them and butchered the seeds. Because you see that seed, if you butcher the plantain like this, and the seed is in the ground, when water comes, it's sprout back. But they evacuated everything, they excavated it and butchered it and feed to their cows. So that's why, you know, if not, some of us by now I would have been boasting of minimum of at least 5,000 plantain bags going into the market on a weekly basis because of its production. And within 1 year, 6 months, you start harvesting. It's a very wonderful, I believe the money from plantain is bigger than oil market. So, but do you have the secured environment where you can grow these things and they love water because of its, you know, class of production? So precisely plantain now, if you want to eat plantain, maybe you do a little fasting and ask God's intervention. If not, it's only those politicians that are eating plantain now. And talking about cassava, cassava fluctuates up and down depending on where you are. Like you told me one day that your area, you are even buying gari at 700 naira and thereabout. I say, wow, the public need to know that, because some of us are still buying gari 1,000 thereabout and over that. So it doesn't seem to be noticeable right now on that gari because of the cassava effect. You know that even I wanted to go into cassava plantation, and the species I loved, I was to buy a pickup load of the stems. The stems alone was going for 25,000, you know, on pickup load. So assuming you have the land space that is secured and you go into such wonderful plantation of cassava, do you know that another wonderful thing about cassava is that if you plant cassava, even in the next 2-3 years, if you didn't harvest it, it's still there.
Nothing happens.
Whether you are watering it or yes,
yeah, well,
it's still there. So I don't know. There's something about cassava that, and the cassava stems is good market. Cassava leaves, good market. Everything about cassava. Cassava peels, good market. Everything about cassava is wonderful. So that's another area I would have loved, you know, people who have the means. If God has enabled you, go into such, and you know that you will never run out of money.
But most of all, there is need for security.
That is the major thing now. Because we have the land, for instance, 10 hectares, and we invested heavily. In fact, it was almost all round. Coconut was involved, plantain, banana, just count them. But because of the situation, insecurity in Nigeria, we are even afraid going there, you get? And which agency of the security agency are you going to report that? Unless you are ready to have your private security planted there. Which if these people come, the kind of weapons they carry, you cannot even face them. You get? So those are the challenges farmers are facing in Nigeria. And do you know that the other enigma is that if to say our government is interested in developing the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and then open it up to private partnership, and then some of us, our relevance will be more. And do you know that is the only way? Even when you are saying Gary has come down, Yam has come down, I will tell you, say yes, because the potentials is there. But in the midst of what we are seeing now, whatever is coming down, don't just start dancing.
Because anything can happen.
Yeah, and we don't have storage facilities like we do say.
Of course, there
That
are
would have
almost no storage facilities for perishable goods in Nigeria today.
That would have been the best aphrodisiac for that fluctuation. Today is going down, tomorrow is, just like that. What you were even, affording yesterday, you can't afford it today. No. So,
well, if you look at looking at some of the prices, egusi, the big bag of egusi has moved up from 245,000 naira to 265,000 naira. So additional 20,000 naira. The big bag of pepper has moved up from 58,000 naira to from 40,000 naira to 58,000 naira, additional 18,000. The same way, I told you, the same way with tomatoes. The big basket of tomatoes, the round-shaped big bag of tomatoes, moved from 30,000 to 40,000. Of course, when the Oro shape moved from 21,000 to 25,000. So the round-shaped one added 10,000.
That is the Rika, yes.
Yes, then the oval-shaped one added 4,000 naira for it. While looking at the maize, the white maize, we have 50 kg going up to 55,000 naira from 47,000 naira. Looking at yellow maize, the 50 kg moved up from 53,000 naira to 57,000 naira. And so you look at these prices, the way these things keep
skyrocketing.
You wonder. Of course, I don't want to go to the other side that we normally look at in a separate way, that is talking about oil. Because Bonnie Light is $79 per barrel right now. And so we don't want to go. I'm just letting that side be today in our discussion. Cocoa has also moved up 7,000, up from 7,000 to, moved up to 7,000 with a percentage of 21.79% increase. Sorghum, 242, and it still remains the way it is, 242 naira, it still remains the way it is. And soybean, 641 naira up, and it's about 0.77% increase. White sesame seeds have remained the same at now that are 80. Now we look at all these things and the way the increases are, you start wondering, what is the reason for which these things should be happening like this? Just as you have always mentioned, you have given us some of it. Also, they are subject to change, and they vary depending on location and market commodities, market conditions rather.
Yes.
Like we were talking about, and you said about the Maitama market, where the mudu of Gari would be about
it's 1,000 plus
1,500 or 1,200. While in the Nyanya market, the mudu of Gari is 500 naira.
As we speak?
Yes, 500 naira as we speak. And the yellow one is different anyway. I'm talking about the white Gari. And so, like that, you want to buy a tuber of yam, a big tuber of yam that could be the size of my hand now. If you go to that other metal market or even Gwarimpa and all that area.
Gwarimpa, Utako, Wuse market.
Utako, and Wuse market, it goes almost 3 times the price it would have been if you were to pick it from the Nanyang market. Or even further, you decide to go further to the beans market or orange market that is in
on Kefi Road, Aotaba Lefi, something like that.
That area, so you find out that the distance also affects the price, because definitely the people that live, if you say at Maitama area, will need to transport themselves to such places to go and to buy. And after buying it, they need to add the transport cost into the price of what they're selling.
Not just transport costs, but do you know, because of the traffic in that axis, if you are leaving Maitama, Wuse, or Asokoro to that place for market, you just shut down your whole day. Because it's not just added transport, you added time. And sometimes save your health. Just to go there and come back. So that's why it's easier for the market people, the middlemen, who go there, buy it in bulk, carry pick up, carry and come back to Asokoro or Maitama and all this, and then you medicate it there.
we are still looking at all of these because definitely these prices, they affect the thing that our people do. Of course, I've seen it in some cases that people, some mothers, some women, will decide that maybe over a weekend or on a particular day, okay, over a short, a distance, over a period, they can decide to go and get
yes, for the week or for the month,
yes,
especially when they collect salary.
Well, we will take a break right now. We'll return shortly for technical purposes. Let's just go and return.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes.
It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue, is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now at this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
the end of a matter is better than its beginning. And in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing will look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it, for instance, when you see a project like fuel subsidy removal and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead. And even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was in news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not coming to loot Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up, at least if you are a rich man and you come to manage a team, you make your influence affect the people so that they will not have hope. So right now, apart from God, sir, the trend that we are seeing in our economic ecosystem does not promise any better show for anybody.
Let's continue, and then we want to look at the monetary market right now. We'll continue with what we're discussing. System liquidity opened on Friday at 2.16 trillion naira, representing a 50% decline from 4.32 trillion naira recorded the previous week. The contraction was largely driven by the private market auction conducted during the week. Consequently, interbank rates closed mixed, but with a bullish undertone. The open repo rate, OPR, remained unchanged at 22.50%, while the overnight rate declined by 7 basis points to 22.71% from 22.78% week on week. Midweek, the Debt Management Office DMO via the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN issued 1.15 trillion naira worth of instruments at the Nigerian Treasury Bills NTB auction across 3 tenors. Investor appetite was strong, particularly for the 364-day bill, which attracted 4.04 trillion naira in subscriptions. Analysts from Share Research said total subscriptions across the 3 maturities reached 4.28 trillion naira, translating to a bid to cover ratio of 3.72 times. The CBN eventually allotted 1.91 trillion naira, comprising 105.05 billion naira for the 91-day bill, 93.41 billion naira for the 182-day bill, and 1.71 trillion naira for the 364-day bill. Swap rates declined for the 91-day and 364-day instruments to 15.80%, down 4 basis points, and 15.90%, down 109 basis points, respectively, while the 182-day rate held steady at 16.65%. Mixed trading activity was recorded in the FGM bond market, albeit with a bullish blast. Buying interest was concentrated at the short time and mid-segment of the yield curve, while activity at the long end remained relatively subdued. The average benchmark yield declined by 7 basis points from 16.00% to 15.92% week on week. Yields on short and mid-term dated bonds eased by 1 basis point and 14 basis points respectively, while the long tenor bond yield remained unchanged at 15.49% week on week. And now looking at the currency market, the bullish sentiment dominated the secondary market, with yields declining across all segments, largely influenced by the NTB auction outcome. The average benchmark yield in the NTB segment fell by 20 basis points from 17.62% to 17.42%. Similarly, the open market operations OMO segment recorded a 57 basis points decline, with yields easing from 20.63% to 24.14% week on week. Bullish trend persisted in currency markets throughout the week, with Naira appreciating across the official and parallel segments. In the official market NFEM window, the Naira strengthened by 68 basis points week on week, rising from 1.357.42, that is 1,255 Naira 42 kobo per dollar, to close at 1,246 Naira 32 kobo per US dollar. Similarly, in the parallel market, the Naira appreciated by 448 basis points to close at 1,340 Naira per US dollar, compared with 1,400 Naira per US dollar the previous week. The premium narrowed to 6.32, that's 6 Naira 32 kobo per US dollar, reflecting improved convergence between both markets. Well, this is what we'll look at, and I'm looking at bullish sentiments dominating the secondary market, where we talked about declining across all segments, largely influenced by the NTB auction outcome. We are already at that, and we'll let it be at this point. We'll say thank you for coming and for being part of what we've just done in these reviews. We'll still continue with what we've had at our discussion, talking about commodities in the market, and talking about the prices and the price increases. Let's see what it is all about. Look at the topic one more time. It is what we will refer to as a kind of a situation report, and we're still going on with it. Yes, looking at, I still have my guest, that is Sam Praise Tomo, with me here, and we're still looking at all of it. Again, if we look at all these the way they are, there are some factors that influence these commodity prices as far as Nigeria is concerned. One of it is monetary policy. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN's monetary policy decisions, such as interest rates and money supply growth, significantly impact commodity prices. So that's one other major thing that has to do with it. We also know that there is also fiscal policy. The government expenditure and revenue growth also play a role in shaping commodity prices. We also have the global economic trends. No matter what happens, weak global economic growth, oil surpluses, and policy uncertainty contribute to commodity price fluctuations. Some people could say that some of these things are not with us, but whatever happens, we are not an island. We work in tandem with other countries and other economies, and all these are what makes it they say that the world has become a global village. The exchange rate stability also affects whatever happens in what we do. Stable Naira exchange rate helps ease raw material import costs for FMCGs, while we also talk about the input costs. Fertilizer prices, seed costs, and other input expenses affect agricultural commodity prices, including, of course, just as we mentioned, as Sam Praise mentioned, the problem in the infrastructure. Talking about the road, where you spend almost a whole day going from Metama to the Orange Market, that is in Nasarawa State, and all that. Considering all that, the traffic jam and all that, at the end of the day, you find out that the man or the trader that went to these markets to buy would have spent the entire day or half of the day on the road. And so when he comes, he decides to say, what has happened in these periods that I've not been here will be taken care of by the time I start selling the next time. So these are some of the things that are the problems. And then again, supply and demand. Factors like crops, yields, weather conditions, and global demand influence prices. Geopolitical tensions as well. Conflicts, sanctions, and trade restrictions impact oil prices and commodity markets. Climate change also is part of it. Extreme weather events such as La Nina can disrupt agricultural output and increase food prices. Even as all of these have been mentioned, security is also a very strong reason for which factor that we need to consider when you're talking about these things. Because there are some places, markets that people cannot go to any longer so easily the way they used to go, like those in Benue State. Some people would have, under normal circumstances, driven themselves or just organize and enter the vehicle and start going to Benue to go and purchase some of these products, like yam in particular, and some of these great things that will help, these staple foods that will help. But these days, some will consider the security. What if someone is arrested, is kidnapped on the way? What do you do? And all the money you have made all your life will be spent and may not be enough. You have to go and
can never be enough for ransom payment.
Yes, you still get from other people begging, capping hands to, from other people to be able to release someone that has been kidnapped. So these are the factors that we look at and see that it's really difficult these days for people to do things where they would have done under normal circumstances. Now, looking at some of these commodities, we have rice. Talk about rice, we have beans. Talk about beans, we have all of them today. Look, they are wonderful. We have packages of rice everywhere. And one thing, again, I want to say that I like that is happening in our markets today is there are different sizes, bag sizes of rice these days. We have 10 kg, we have 5 kg. In fact, some people even have 1 kg, 2 kg bags of rice that they're like, what we're looking at now definitely will be about those 5 kg bags and things like that. And these are just to help people. I remember again, Abiola, MKO Abiola. I would say of blessed memory, honestly, because MKO Abiola, when he was alive, brought to Nigeria that thing we started enjoying at that point in time. That is to make sure that everybody had the basic beverages
in the market
beverages for food. Like I remember Cowbell, I need to mention it because that's it came when he came. He brought it in sachets that made it easy for every family to take tea and bread every morning. Before then, getting these beverages, you must get to have to buy the big
combo sizes.
Yes, and all that. But with his introduction of these milk, it made things easier. That we now, of course, since then it's been growing. Cowbell stayed for a long time being the only sachet milk in such little sizes that people were enjoying, until other people woke up to seeing that this is not going to live in a hurry. So they all joined, Pig Milk joined, all of them, Bombita. Yes, even that Cowbell, we now have Cowbell Choco, you know, the one that will be kind of just put it once, everything. Yes. And it made life easier. It made life easier that people who you would refer to as the poorest of the poor were able to, with 5 kobo, 2 kobo, buy milk, buy beverages to use to eat the bread they will get, you know. And at that time, bread was also produced in small sizes that everybody could buy, apart from the giant-sized loaves, you know. And it made things easy that someone, if you ask a poor fellow, he said, well, I had breakfast today, and what was it? I took tea and bread, and that's good, you know, because of those things that were provided. It's the same way that we're seeing these bags of rice today.
Yes.
Seeing these bags of rice, seeing 5 kg, 1 kg, 2 kg, gift packs, if you like, that they were giving to people, and some people, even some politicians, have to start making use of these small ones. But I want to tell you, if you're a fellow that a politician gives 2 kg bag of rice, throw it at his face, because it doesn't make sense for you. And he will say he will buy your vote with 2 kg, 5 kg bag of rice. You see how poor we have become in our country?
That reminds me what I read on the net within the week, that when Hitler was operating, he was having a meeting with his security cycle, and he asked them to bring chicken, live chicken. So while he was busy addressing them, he was busy removing the feathers. Up until the chicken went naked. Then he now released the chicken, and then from side of his pocket he brought out some grain of rice and started throwing for the naked chicken, and that one started running and picking for survival. Then when they're now asking, why are you doing this? You say, that is how the electorate are. So when you need them, you throw grains for them, they gather you. And once you get into where you are going, you deal with them. I think that's what present APC government is doing to Nigeria.
Well, that is one thing about life.
You are
that reminds me
busy
of talking about the Machiavellian system.
And now, see this thing you just showed us now?
Yes, yes.
5 kg.
Yeah,
it's politicians that started it. It's politicians that started because of electoral program. So once, like now, they'll start sharing all those things as if all the years you have been in government, you forgot the people. So now you start making a big, humongous electoral promises, and then you start gathering them again to buy their heart. And once they finish that system, you bring out your cutlass and start dealing with them.
I also want to talk about the production of this rice. You know, I think Anambra State government is doing well as far as this matter of this rice and beautiful grains are concerned. Do you know there is still Anambra rice? There's still Anambra rice in bags, 50 kg bags, 25 kg bags.
Just like Abakaliki rice now.
Yes, as we have had Abakaliki rice all these years. You know, that was,
but was it
the
Soludo
only
that brought
local rice we used to eat then.
Was it Soludo that brought about this Anambra rice?
No. Anambra rice had been there. Anambra rice had been there for a long time.
Okay.
In actual fact, Anambra rice was there when Peter Obi was the governor.
Okay.
Anambra rice was there when Obiano was governor. Anambra rice is still there. And it's still going on. So I was happy to see that it's still there, it's still growing. I have asked questions. I have not got any answer about lake. That one that was a kind of, what do you call it now? They had a kind of, okay, I remember the word, between Lagos and Kebbi State. They had lake rice. It was beautiful when it came out then. Kebbi will produce, Lagos will carry a market in Lagos. And of course, Lagos is about the largest market in Nigeria.
Of course.
And so it was going well. I don't know what happened. Of course, some of it will still be sold in Kebbi State because they are human beings who also need to eat the rice. So, but it was a joint venture, that's what I was thinking. A joint venture between Lagos State and Kebbi State. I don't know what other states are doing. We need to do these things. Just as I've said, Anambra has Anambra rice. I know at a stage I used to eat Benue rice. In fact, I saw it in the trade fair. I can't remember the particular year. I saw it in the trade fair here in Abuja. And I had to buy a bag and ask the seller, the people who were marketing it then. They told me where I could find it when my bag, the one I bought, got finished. When it got finished, I went to that market, to Totako market, and I bought another bag. Beautiful rice from Benue State. That was about 10
years ago or something.
There was something about that. Beautiful rice from Benue State.
Because insecurity has stopped order.
Yes. And at a
we
stage,
don't know what Nigeria
when I went
losing.
for to buy a second one from that Totako market, I was told that the thing is going out of circulation. And after buying that second one, I couldn't find it again and I stopped buying. You know? So there are things we have in our country, but insecurity could make it difficult or almost impossible for us to have such things in our land. So we need to watch, we need to be careful, we need to allow peace to reign in this land and let the government, because it's in the hand of the government should do everything possible to ensure that there is security. Thank God we are hearing things are happening today. But we pray double your effort, make more effort to let us have effective security. We're not talking about having the peace of a graveyard. No, that's not the kind of peace or quietness we're talking about. But one that is effective, people can go back to their farmland to plant again, especially in Benue State, in Kogi State,
Niger State,
Enugu,
Ebonyi, Anambra.
But these major ones I've just mentioned,
Middle Belt and Eastern states are arable lands.
So we need to have those things back, because I said earlier, in this program another day, we'll talk about Benue being the food basket of the nation. Some people are trying to make Benue to stop being the food basket of the nation.
It was before now.
And it still is. But the fact is that they are trying to stop it. What has Benue State done that you won't allow Benue State to do its work? I mean, because of what? Because they saw some basic, beautiful things under the ground. And as a result, we are told, they are trying to move all the people who are there so that they will be able to do exploration. This is not what we need to do in this nation. Let everyone live. Every state in Nigeria has one natural resource or the other. So all we need to do is let each state look out for its own, work it out, and use it effectively. I don't know. Looking at, we saw Gary among those things that we had, that we saw. We'll look at that Gary again. You see, Gary used to be something that is well known. I don't know whether it is still the same today, that it comes from Edo State, Edo Delta. Again, Benue. I mean, I have taken Gary from Benue. I've bought bags of Gary from Benue. I have a neighbor who is from Benue, and in their place they even produce it. They bring it, and we buy from them. We have had it in the next neighboring state, Kogi. They also have a bit of it. And in Anambra State, I'm sure there are also many people who are producing this. I don't know about some other states, but most of the southern states are already, southeastern states are already doing this. And Ondo State, my grandmother's place, they are also good at producing. In fact, it's from Ondo most of the time that you find those ones that they say that is the one that you drink, Ijebu Gari and all those things. Yes, and all that. So, and all that area, and Ogun State, Oshu State, of course, where you now have the Ijebu itself. You know, so we need to talk about these things, Ogun State. We need to talk about these things. We need to talk about Oyo. These are states where these good things, apart from cocoa that you see in the western regions, including the western region, including the Midwestern, it's still there, yes, the South regions. Akwa Ibom has a whole lot of all these products put together that we are seeing. And of course, they talk about vegetables and all that. All of it. These are the things that can help. I mean, the little things that people will see and enjoy in life. That we have, is it not a shame? I keep saying it. Apart from the fact that we have few factories that produce tomato paste in this country. We need to have a whole lot more of it. Though we have some already, thank God for that. But then look at the fact that you don't have any that produces mango juice, all these other juice for us. Thank God we have that one that gives us tomatoes. At a time like this, we still have some of them. My friend and the man from my state also has one that is known very well, the one that is NIGCOMSAT and all that. So we thank God for them. Even at a stage, Dangote got into this. I don't know what happened. And there are others. We need more of these to help produce these things, to make sure that our people will always find what to eat on a constant note in every aspect of life, and not make it expensive. But that the price will, because when you have many, then the prices will be forced to be brought down because there is effective competition among these producers, and it will help the consumer. What do you think, sir?
Yes, that is what we call industrialization now. When there is a level playing field, and like you say, Dangote is into it, Erico is into it, and a plethora of other good intention Nigerians going into production, because in the absence of having preservative cold rooms, the only factor that can ameliorate the situation to bridge the gap of where it is being cultivated and as at when it will be needed, assuming it is out of season. How do you assess this thing? It's through industrialization. This man is, industrializing and packaging them for preservation.
Yes.
You see that? So supermarket will always have a store of it. Some warehouses will always have a store of it. The middlemen transacting between the cultivators
Talk
and
about
the
business news. Yes, go ahead.
And the consumers is having a store of these things because the man of the industry has produced them for preservation and for future use. So you will not notice any gap between seasons, because the major factor to inflation, to expect these food commodities, is seasons.
Yes.
When Mr. A yam farm is ready, Mr. B's yam farm is ready, and a plethora of others are ready, the market is forced down because competition is in there.
As a result of the fact that there is almost no sense of storage in the imagination.
Because you rush to dispose before it will be rotting in your hand. And then possibly you had a soft loan from somewhere to go into that production, and then you must make hay while the season is still there. So those are the factors that culminate into this nosediving, undulation of what have you. So we need more good intention, Nigerians who have the money to go into industrialization to preserve our production.
And I once tried to find out why it is a problem to have these things. And someone gave me something point blank. And they said, our power supply is almost non-existent.
Comatose.
And I wonder, we have been talking about, I remember that at the time of Jonathan, they talked about the fact that what is coming to the national grid was moving from 4,000, you know, 4,000 to 6,000. I can't remember, something like that. And up till now, we have not gone beyond 6. In fact, that 6 is far away now. It has been brought down, it has come down. What is it that is holding Nigeria? South Africa, as small as it is, has 5 times, 6 times over what we have in our power supply. Yet, South Africa is almost like 1/3 of Nigeria. What is it that we can't do to put our own in order? Ghana has celebrated, I think now is the 15th year.
Uninterrupted.
Yes, of uninterrupted power supply, Ghana. And of course, we know, thank God again, I want to thank God again for the Abia state government and what is happening, that out of that 9 local governments in Abia, they have had, in the past 8 months, regular supply.
Power plant,
yes, independent power plant. They have had a constant power supply, so that manufacturers can even have the mind to manufacture because they know that there is steady power supply in their place. What is happening to us? If I hope because I remember that the last time I had the Eke, who is a banker, a fellow of the Banking Institute Nigeria, I had him here and we were talking. He said, yeah, that even the Abia government is working hard to make it better, to lift it better, so that it will affect the entire state. But then he stressed that the region should work together to get to have it. These regional governments should come together. The ones in the south is work together, provide your own, and the southwest work together.
APC interest is scattering a lot of good intentions.
It's quite a pity that these things are happening in our country.
Do you know, like you are talking about power supply affecting industrialization, so also internal revenue. There is a lot of tax agencies now that as soon as you dig the foundation, they start coming. Once you put your signboard, they start attacking you. In my flower nursery last week, FG, pick up that Hilux with enough boys. They came and told my where I put my name and phone number in case I'm not, like I'm here now.
Yes.
If somebody is looking for me, that's my. They came and tore it. I was there. I said, what's the problem now? They said I should go and advertise on those billboards. That's why they are increasing billboards. How much does it take to advertise on billboard? Is it not 50 million and above? And on and on and on. So
why should you go and advertise on billboards when you see in your place where you can place
right
your own
there in my venue
advert?
And even government billboard is there, of which there is nothing you can do at the moment. Those things like the advert on that billboard right now in my garden is for those who want to build filling station. That's billions and whatever.
Yes, yes.
And you are asking me that I just have less than 5 people working in that place. And I should go and advertise
there. Where would you even get the money to advertise?
So these are the obnoxious factors that FCT is doing. That is you are killing private entrepreneurs.
Especially
you
the
are
ones
killing
that are
grassroots, generating available commodities for the livelihood of everybody. So I don't like this barbaric activities is going on. So it's killing good intentions. The next thing they will bring you green paper. You pay this, you do that. Another day they say you come and buy for 100,000. It's monotonous. It's barbaric.
The fact is that they need to reconsider all that. Even now that there's a new...
In civilized society, you come down to people that are trying to do this and find a way to partner with them.
That's why I said
do you have water here? They drill borehole for you.
Yes.
When you stand, it's easy for you to pay tax and reduce unemployment.
That's why the new...
But here, you are even trying to light the small candle light. They come there to quench it because of taxation.
Yes. Well, incidentally, we were told in the news
really happening?
that those who earn less than 800,000, that nobody will tax them. But now they are taxing everybody. The people that you're talking about are moving everywhere, taxing everybody.
Send somebody 10,000. Even though Najiti carry and go UBA ATM, they debited me, I didn't see the money. On top of that, they still send me a message, say 100 and 200 and something naira. have been deducted. It's not been like that before. Small transaction people are trying to manage. It's not everybody that is stealing money from government.
Yes.
So all these things is something we should look into. Taxation on everything.
Well, it's a painful thing.
No NGO is partnering with you.
Yes.
For instance, you have good intention, they just interview you and find out that you have what it takes. They say, okay, we ameliorate your situation with this, because 3-4 years from now, you begin to employ.
Yes, and
that's how it's supposed to be.
And so you have the government in reducing
no
the problem
bank,
of
whether
unemployment.
microfinance or commercial banks, are ready to give you loan now. Are you a Dangote?
Well, dear viewer, this is where we will be packing up what we have for you today. And we could be letting you have the news bit later, of course, on the program. But right now, for now, we're signing off and saying that we'll continue as time goes on to discuss other topics as they come. Special thanks to Sam Praise Itomo, the human interest advocate, who has been here sharing the moments with me, as always, coming to help out and make sure that we say things the right way they ought to be said. Thanks a lot, sir.
It's my privilege. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Let me thank Emmanuel Solomon for doing a great work this morning. And let me not forget also to say thanks to Adebayo Sanusi, not forgetting also Victor Adeyeye, as well as Victor Chizea. Well, we'll stay here. We'll continue with so many things that come up on this station. We'll keep being part of it. And may I let you know that what we have seen or what we have done is still what goes on live stream. Most of the time, we live stream programs. Even if you missed out on any, please watch us on our social media networks. Please do. Especially look at the economy today. We'll always have things that you look at and feel better that you watch them. Thank you so much for being there. And may the very best happen to us all the time. Okay, here. Bye for now.